Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and warm greetings to all. I'm Hatta Hashom, one of the consultants for ABMS, Anti-Bribery Management Systems, here in Institute Integrity, Malaysia. Dear all, bribery is a widespread phenomenon that raises in almost all countries, regardless whether in European countries, Africa, Asia, or whichever places. When it connects to money, authority, and violation of one's policy, it actually brings you to the word bribery and corruption in the Malaysian context. It erodes justice and undermines human rights. And I must say, it increases the cost of doing business and uncertainty in commercial transaction. In regards to that, the reputation of one organization will just be abolished just like this because of the corruption and bribery. That is a hard part to be accepted for one's organization. Ladies and gentlemen, governments around the world have made progressions in addressing bribery and communication by suggesting the methodology known as adequate procedures. Now, these adequate procedures is seen to cover all the ideas of how to combat and curb corruption and bribery. The adequate procedure consists of all the 5 items, or we can call as a principle. The first principle is the letter T. Letter T means top-level commitment. In doing this, the top-level commitment, also known as the top management or board of directors or the governing bodies, if any, in organization, can appoint a compliance officer, or in Malaysia context, we can call as a IGU, Integrity Governance Unit. They also can develop and communicate policies, plus endorse the policies, ensuring that every single layer performing at their level best. And then by having top-level commitment also, they can implement awareness and providing report system, ensuring that the subordinates has an equal idea and information of what is corruption and bribery, plus curbing, combat, and prevent it from happens in one's organization. The second letter is R. R means risk assessment. Talking about risk assessment, these adequate procedures is promoting one's organization to conduct a periodic assessment. It can be in so many ways, especially for the departments, divisions, or any branches or subunits, or in any single elements in an organization. And of course, after that, after you assess the risk assessment, you have to execute the comprehensiveness of auditing processes. Now, this is what we call as check and balance. Without it, you might not know what's happening and how to take an action plan and ensure that at the end of the day, you can lessen the risk of corruption in your organization. The third letter is U, which means undertake control measures. Of course, when you perform a system or method, in knowing every single aspect in your sectors for an organization, you need to do a due diligence, whichever part, whether it's internal or external. This is to establish the adequate procedures and of course to ensure that the compliance is happening and put in place. Number 4 is the systematic review and monitoring. When you have both, you have the information, you have the documents. Your documents for the adequate procedures can be varied based on the organization. Well, in Malaysia, we have these 3 documents that maybe you have to perform to your level best, ensuring that after that you can review, monitor, revise, and making sure that it is performed, it is presenting by all sections. Now this is to be conducted, ensuring that you can access the performance and monitor your personnel, of course external parties, which is your business associates, whichever that found to be non-compliant or violate. If there is no such case, then you are actually at good par of maintaining your corruption and bribery awareness. Well, the last one is the T, communication and training. To ensure that things are in a well manner, of course, providing training and communication should be, the information should be disseminated to all levels. This can be done by developing, disseminate, communicate regardless in whichever things like policies, procedures, or maybe you have workflow. Anything that connects to the rules and regulation perhaps. And at the end of the day, you may have to provide necessary trainings ensuring that competence of your personnel is at par, is as standard as they need it. Now the question is, what adequate is adequate? Well, I must say that here in IIM, we have been questioned a lot about that by the organizations, regardless of whatsoever, the CLBGs, GLCs, publics, and of course, the private. Well, I must say that you have to believe in good governance and management. The answer is, what gets measured gets managed. So, in answering this, whatever you want to do in terms of curbing, combating, preventing, and avoiding your company, your organization, you make sure that simply to put adequate as a documented information. Then after that, you perform and make sure things is compliant. So both things can go together, and this will create adequate procedures. Ladies and gentlemen, in Malaysia context, we have been introduced with Section 17 capital A, regardless of the 4 existing sections that we have in MACC Act 2009. This Section 17 capital A, also known as Corporate Liability Provision, stated that where an offence is committed by a commercial organization, the commercial organization directors, controllers, officers, partners, business associates, or any members in the management of the organization will be deemed to have committed the offence unless he or she or the organization can prove that the offence was committed without the person's consent. The question now, how to ensure an organization can prevent and avoid from bribery and corruption? The NACP, or known as National Anti-Corruption Plan, has come up with initiatives. And one of the initiatives is to promote anti-bribery management system, ABMS, to the organization, whether they are CLBGs, SOEs, organization, or the private. This ABMS is seen to be a remedy, ensuring that adequate procedures can be performed well and act as a standards of ethics for an organization. However, the law itself isn't sufficient to curb bribery and corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, Anti-Bribery Management Systems, or ABMS, is very close to adequate procedures. It is a remedy to everything that you have in mind of anti-corruption and anti-bribery. The MS-ISO 37001-2016 is a world international standard for you to curb and to prevent the corruption and bribery from happening. You may need 3 months to perform this, to implement from the very first to the readiness for your certification. In Institute Integrity Malaysia, welcome you to come here and have the consultation. We will guide you from the very first clause 1 to clause 10, ensuring that every single adequate procedure that I have mentioned earlier to be in place for the organization. It's you yourself and the organization to ensure that your commitment comes together to curb the corruption. Always believe in it takes two to tango for your lovely and desired achievement of saying no to corruption. Do call us and making sure that we are all in one hand to combat corruption and bribery. With that, I thank you.